The Formiculture Monthly Review. Welcome, ant keepers, to another edition of the Formiculture Monthly Review. Sponsored, of course, by me. But more on that later. July is Formica season, so let's dive into some journals and see what species ant keepers are caring for on Formiculture. Starting off with a classic 15-page journal on Messer barbarus by Ernta Maisa. The good news? The ants are doing amazing. The bad news? It's because they don't have AC. The ants have now fully taken over a Tar Heel ant's nucleus, allowing for some amazing pictures. Enjoy! Ants Cali's Pogonomyrmex californicus polygynous colonies now have nitics. Some are available on their shop, which you will hear about later. Ernta Maisa is also keeping Lasius emarginatus, an invasive species here in the US, but native to Europe. After brood boosting her with Lasius niger workers, the queen has puffed up to a massive size. Lasius are some of the most physogastric queens around. Massive update from Demo Ant on some unique Chinese species. I will not attempt to pronounce them, so enjoy the pictures. Stricky has come into possession of two species of Formica, Formica argentea and Formica francure. Unfortunately, the Formica argentea didn't make it, but I am rooting for the Formica francure as they are rare and undocumented on Formiculture. Andrew has been battling with his Chromatogaster curiosity colony to keep them contained, even in his chromatoproof outworlds. In the end, however, the power of alcohol always prevails, and the escape artists have been foiled once again. Kowal, one of the best journal makers and outworld creators on the forum, has managed to revive their colony of Camponotus phallax from almost certain death, after over 1,000 workers, males, and queens died during diapause. Through a miracle of the original queen surviving, or inbreeding, at least one mated queen is now producing workers again. Crazy.
What's up, everybody? Our journey continues with Anthony P. and his army of Lasius colonies. Seeing his vast, diverse collection, it comes as no surprise that he's being met with mixed results. Some colonies, such as his 28 Queen Brevicornis, Claviger latipus hybrid, and Minitus, are booming, while many of his others are stagnating. Anthony also outlines his intentions to keep all of his Lasius colonies long-term to master keeping the genus, rather than just being able to say he's kept those species. Ants Texas spices things up with a rarely discussed and reclusive subfamily, Paneraceae. This brand new journal features founding queens of the menacing Odontomachus clarus and Neopanera villosa, as well as the honorary Paneraceae, Pseudomyrmex gracilis. Good luck managing these predatory species. It's about that time again. Keter continues to tease us with his Acromyrmex and Novomesser colonies, though he throws in a couple northern species more familiar to many of us, including Prenolepis imperis, Tetramorium immigrans, Temnothorax curvispinosus, and Phaedoli bicoronata. Camponotus are back in style again. Ants Texas catches wave after wave of Camponotus sensibianus queens, and they now have workers. Despite neglect, they are still thriving, gaining new workers at a rate impressive for such large ants. Everything's bigger in Texas, including Ants Texas's contributions to this month's journals. He released another new journal featuring the big three fungus growers, Atotexana, Acromyrmex versicolor, and Trachymyrmex septentrionalis. Try saying that 5 times. Ermtamize experiments with food for his blossoming Acanthomyrmex species colony, giving them locust legs to feed their growing larva pile. The updates also include immaculate photos of their impressive majors as they help process large food items. Ants Dakota has acquired several new Camponotus species, including Monarch and Vicinus, and is attempting a more individualistic journaling approach. He places different species updates in different posts, highlighting the uniqueness of each. Combine that with stunning macro photography, and you have a masterpiece of a journal. Almost. For his info sections, he copy-pastes segments of that ADAX journal, which may put his credibility into question. We'll see. ADAC has yet to show this month, thankfully. Antboy has done it, boys. His Lasius claviger colony has biological workers after 3 grueling months of brood development. The colony now has a dozen or so bios and a mountain of brood. Congratulations on this momentous achievement.
Experts predict that the Flying Ant Day in 2025 will occur earlier than usual, with peak... Wait. Flying Ant Day 2025? That has to be the most Karen name for a nuptial flight I have ever heard. At any rate, Europe is expected to have a larger than average nuptial flight season due to unusually good conditions this year. Well, good for ants, that is. Alternating periods of wet and humid weather will set the stage for many species to fly at once, hopefully granting European ant keepers access to some unique native species. But why listen to my summary of this article when you can read sentences like this? Experts warn that this year could see larger than usual swarms of flying ants as we approach Flying Ant Day, also known as the nuptial flight, and sometimes nicknamed Flant Day.
This is RushmoreAnts, back of July's drama. July marks a resurgence in ant buying inquiries by the user Culture123. One such inquiry involved Camponotus Monarch and if they are polygynous. The user ADAC used a simple analogy to explain that they were not in fact polygynous, and are actually some of the most aggressive queen ants around. Culture123 clearly did not comprehend the simple facts that Camponotus queens are aggressive, prompting ADAC to extrapolate on the analogy with lots of caps lock, blunt explanations, and bold to ensure Culture123 got the point, and to compensate for their limited vocabulary. This is not the first inquiry Culture123 has made, and their very public quest to drain their pockets to buy queens instead of catching wild ones stretches well back into 2024. Seeing as Culture123 cannot seem to comprehend a simple analogy, it makes logical sense that they cannot comprehend our ant-related federal laws in the US, as they repeatedly requested ants that are not native to their home state of California, and in some cases are not native to the North American continent. For those who are new to ant keeping, it is illegal to transport queen ants across state borders without a PPQ 526 permit from the United States Department of Agriculture. Seeing the intellectual prowess and maturity of Culture123, it is safe to assume that they do not have such permits, or are even aware of their existence, even though they have been attempting to buy ants for over a year. What illegal ants will Culture123 request next? Will they ever use Formiculture for any purpose other than spending money on ants? Stay tuned for updates.
Have you ever asked yourself what's popping on Formiculture shopping? Nah, I haven't either. But here's the most recent updates on all of Formiculture's vendors. Temnothorax is selling ant outworlds with beautifully cut acrylic lids for affordable prices on his shop on Formiculture. They are the first vendor to sell something besides ants on the Formiculture Monthly Review. Mr. Pogo, one of the newer vendors to this list, is offering a variety of genera for affordable prices in California, including Camponotus, Falconomyrmex, Brachymermex, Tetramorium, and Penelope's, although no pictures were added. Sad. Jeff. You make my life harder every time you update your shop. Most of these species are so rare that they have never been sold in recent years, and thus I won't risk pronouncing their names. If you are in California, count yourself lucky to have this guy as a vendor. AP is offering freshly caught Pogonomyrmex rugosus and Pogonomyrmex californicus queens in California. Finally, a vendor with pictures. Something is selling polygynous Pogonomyrmex californicus and Veromesser Andrae, the Californians, for a decent price. A bit of an unusual one here, Banexity is selling a huge Myrmecocystis mexicanus colony with over 1,000 workers to a Californian ant keeper for $800. Great for a zoo or museum interested in a display. Finally, and definitely not least, is my shop. The shop you can use to support the creation of videos like this one. Camponotus vicinus, novaworkensis, and a rare one, Herculeanus, are in stock to South Dakotans, with the exception of Camponotus vicinus, which is available in several populous states like California, Arizona, and Texas, with more permits being approved every day. These queens are super aggressive and unlike anything I have ever seen. Tetramorium immigrans is also available for national shipping to most states, and are super cheap. Great for any beginner. I also have Outworlds for sale, gotta not forget that. Finish us off strong, RushmoreAnts.
The heat of summer drew in many new community members this month. Give it up for Dude Bro Guy from Arizona, Subfeeder from England, Shan from Massachusetts, Kekolingo from Tennessee, Chromatogaster from Southern Louisiana, and Amazing Ants from San Diego, California. Thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to drop a like and a comment to support the channel, and as always, subscribe. Or Tetras.